Okay, let's start. We're a bit late. Sorry about the shuffling and confusion with the schedule, but improvisation. Okay, today I will present a talk with the Stupidity Driven Development title. I said in the slide I will talk about my own stupidity. Okay, so please take it slightly because I won't talk about your stupidity, only mine. So this talk is about my favorite topic. That basically it's me. Okay. We'll talk a bit about my history, about mistakes I made, and the lessons I learned. Okay, and some really valuable lessons that I really expect you to take with you. Okay. My own learning with stupidity says that you won't listen to me, but you will remember me someday. So, as said, my name is Sergi. I work as an Android enabler at InfoJobs. An Android enabler is a position we invented, we created, and nobody understands what it is. Not even me. Basically, it means that if there is any problem with the Android application, they call me. So I spend the major part of my day just hiding from people. I've been doing development for 25 years. Okay. Do you know what this is? That's a punch card. Okay, that was the way that we programmed many years ago. I never used them professionally, but I used them when I was studying many years ago. I was talking before that the first time I was here, this building didn't exist. So, in all these years, I learned two things. Okay, the first thing is that this is not a stressful profession at all. Okay, I'm in fact also 28 years old. I don't look like it, but trust me, this is out of the joke. This is a really stressful job, and you are lucky. Things are much better right now. I feel in the 90s it was even more stressful than now, but now everybody needs a developer. So we're rock stars. And the biggest lesson is that I am an idiot, and I make mistakes all the time. For the last 25 years, I've been doing all kind of mistakes. But the lesson I learned is that knowing that I make mistakes is my superpower. It's what makes me strong. I started working at 1996, and let me explain you a couple of histories. That is me, 1997. Started to work, I was 20 years old, black hair. And the first issue, I really love the word issue. It's a way of saying problem without saying problem. It means something happened. The first issue, do you know what a fax is? Something that we used in the 90s to send documents from one way or another. What is a faxing? Faxing, you know what a mailing is? Just sending mail to a lot of people. So faxing is the same, but using fax. The problem is that if you want to fax a document to 300 people, it takes a long time, like maybe 3 days. So my boss asked me to, hey, I want to send this document to 300 people via fax. I want to share it. Okay, so we started looking at it, and we found the software that was able to send this document via fax using a modem to a list of people. Okay, so how you create this list of people? You just enter manually all the phone numbers in the application. And we hack it a bit, blah, blah, blah. We found there was a way to export it. Oh, perfect, we can create this. This application uses a small database in a format called DBase. Probably you won't know it, but it's quite old. But we were able to create this list. So we did it. Some phone numbers failed because they had spaces and it was expecting numbers. We fixed them. So we did it again. Some still small subset failing. Okay, let's fix this. Blah, 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 blah. So after some tries, we were able to import all them into this database. Okay, so we started sending these documents via fax. It took like 2-3 minutes per document. So we let the computer working for days, just looking looking at it, okay, everything seems. And then customers start asking, why are you sending me the same fax 10 times? You are collapsing my fax machine. Do you remember I tried several times? Yeah, every time I appended the list of phone numbers. So the whole list was several times. It was an issue. We had to stop the process. The problem is that we didn't know who received it, who didn't receive it, so the whole campaign was a mess. Lesson learned. Always assume you will do something wrong. Always double check everything. That's why we have things like testing. That's why we have things like CI. That's why we have things like PRs, because you will make a mistake somewhere. Okay, that was a small mistake, no big deal. Okay, I was 19 years old, or 20 years old. For me, it was the end of the world. But, it's not a big mistake. It's also it's something that you learn with the years. That, who cares? 2002. I'm already senior. I'm a professional. I'm 25 years old. I was working for Microsoft. Not in Microsoft, but for Microsoft. They were our customer. So at the top of the world. Ooh, I was visiting them. I'm a pretty professional. And I made another issue. My company was a software translation company. We translate software for all kinds of customers. And we were translating a software, big software, huge software. I cannot say the name of the software. I cannot say the name of the customer, but it was a spreadsheet. Okay? But I will say the name. And this was a huge project, like 3 years of project. Okay, I always say that this project was so huge that the bugs were numbered, and I saw the bug 1 million. So really a huge project. Okay, so we had to make one process, quite similar to the other issue. List of names, export, generate some file, send it to the customers. I run it, it fails. With no explanation. I run it, it fails. Try another list, it fails. In my defense, it was Friday, 2 a.m. I was exhausted. I've been working like for 20 hours. So I decided to change. I was suspecting that it was just a length issue. That the names, some of the names, the translation were too long. So I was fed up. I was exhausted. So I tried the shortest string in all the positions. It worked. Okay, this is the problem. We shortened the strings. We did it again. End of the problem. We delivered. 1 year later, I was still working on this project was still going on, but I was not in the project anymore. I was in another project. But a colleague was in the project, and he was told to me, "Hey, they opened me a bug about the graphics in this spreadsheet, sorry, and unrelated to the bug, but I saw that there is one of the graphs, one of the templates of the graph, with the name, and this graph, the name is the F word. Have you seen Ratatouille, the movie from Pixar, from the small mouse who can cook? Do you remember this moment? That was my face, because 1 year after, my whole mind was translated to the moment that, oh, it was appended, not exported the whole list every time. So I almost, let's say bad things about the mother of millions of users in the whole world. I was, at some point, it was possible to be responsible of 500 people losing their job. Wow. Lesson learned. Never use bad words, cursing, never, under any circumstance. Never. Here, I develop a theory. I develop a new way of programming that in Potato we trust. Every time I need to print something, log something, temporary variables, temporary strings, potato. See? Ninja potato perforator, potato caprices, header, X potato, potato tag. So in Potato we trust. Never again I use the bad word. Okay. So, as I say, that was my own stupidity, failing, making problems, creating issues. And I have many more examples, okay? You won't believe it. But I'm not an idiot. I'm not stupid. I'm just a human being. I make mistakes like everybody else. I learn by my mistakes. That's what I said. You will make your own mistakes. You will learn from them. Okay? And accidents happen. You know, you cannot do anything to avoid it. So, for example, right now I can access this same presentation in 3 different ways. It's online, it's in a PDF in my laptop, it's in a PDF in my phone. Okay, because it happened to me. I made a talk, I traveled, I don't know, to Germany, I arrived at the conference. Okay, here's my laptop. What's the Wi-Fi? No, we don't have Wi-Fi. What? So my slides. No, you cannot access your slides if they are online. You know, this should happen once, never twice. So, what are the kind of things that you need to focus on when you make a mistake? What things do you need to extract from a mistake? First, the first priority, fix the mistake. Okay, that's the first thing that needs to happen. Fix it. Once it's fixed, avoid doing it again. Avoid doing it again doesn't mean, okay, I have to remember to never do this again. But what you have to do is make it impossible to happen again. Okay? For example, never use custom words again. Make somebody review your work. Okay? We have tools to review your work automatically. For example, you know what a linter is, what formatting is. I never format coding files out manually. Never. Why? There is a machine that will do it for me. Who to blame? That's not important. Okay. Blaming, it's never a good thing. There's no purpose in blaming. Well, there's, called revenge. Sometimes it's not worth it. Never get confused between blame and responsibility. Okay. I was the one to blame for the mistake, but it was not my responsibility. Who, in their own mind, makes a 19 years old kid responsible for sending faxes to 300 customers and just says to this kid, on your own? Okay. Who made me work for more than 20 hours for daily for 3 weeks, expecting no mistake from me? So it was not my responsibility. It was my fault, but not my responsibility. Okay. But, and this is a big but, and I like it, but you cannot prevent a mistake that you don't know that will happen. That's what I said. You have to make your own mistakes. Okay, that's what I said at the beginning. You will do mistakes. You won't listen to me today. You will never think, I need to review my whole work. You will think, you will believe that you will never fail. And it's good to think this. Okay, it makes you powerful, but you will fail. You will make mistakes. Because I thought the same 20, 25 years ago. You know what imposter syndrome is? You heard about this? Yes, no. Imposter syndrome, it happens a lot in our industry. In fact, I think it happens a lot in all industries. I was listening to the talk. Okay, machine learning is not my topic, it's not my thing. I'm the consumer of what they're doing. It's the 4th, 5th time I listen to this presentation. I don't even get it. I don't understand anything. Okay, but it doesn't make me a bad developer, a bad programmer. It's just not my area. Okay, it's nothing I'm prepared to understand. I'm not an imposter. Simply that you cannot know everything. And probably they are very good at machine learning and all this kind of stuff that I don't understand. But I can make a presentation about mobile development and they won't get a clue, I think. Okay. and it's not bad. The only thing I'm sure is my lack of abilities, of certain abilities, that some of them I'm not prepared for. For example, I forget things all the time. I do this. Every time I have to do something, I write it down, I put a little box on it, and when it's done, I have thousands of sheets on my table with this kind of stuff. And you may think, frankly, there's a guy here giving me a talk about writing down the things I have to do. Yes, because it's effective, because it works. Okay? Test. That's so useful. You know, I'm teaching people on a bootcamp, and last week we were talking about testing, and I was asking to them, and I will make the same question to you. Why is test important? Why we want to test code? Some people say, oh, because it makes you make better code. No, that's wrong. Oh, because the code is more robust. No, wrong answer. Oh, because, no, wrong answer, for sure. Because 4:30, I go home and I sleep well, okay? And there is nothing wrong with my code because I have tests. And the best part, if you are able to be paid for being on duty, you will be paid for sleeping because your code is safe, because it's tested, okay? Getting paid for being sleeping, that's the best thing in the world, okay? So test your code, always. It's okay to ask people to review your code. We do pull requests, okay? Proof, and for example, it depends a lot on each project in our company, but for example, in the Android applications, it's mandatory to have 2 approvals of reviewers to be able to merge a together. Okay? Sometimes when people is on holidays, it's a bit messy, but it works. And you can say, oh, but you're not doing trunk-based development, you're not doing ship fix methodology, whatever. Yeah, and methodologies are not good or bad per se. It's just that this one makes us feel safe. This one saves us mistakes. We're happy with this. I'll probably change it, but we're happy. Okay? So this is the important thing. The important thing is that, as I said, 4:30, 5 p.m., I leave the office, I go to my home, and I sleep well. No worries. I can release a new version every Tuesday, and I have no worries. Okay? Because I have all kind of mechanisms ready for the moment that I will do something wrong, something stupid. Okay? I have many times discussions with colleagues that, hey, I did this, but you tested that this in production is working? Well, it should work. Should, and I'm sure that it's not the same. Be sure that it works, because it's what gives you, again, 8 hours of sleep every day. So, just to finish, fast, you will make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Use them to learn, use them to improve, and protect yourself. Protect yourself from yourself. And that's all. That's my presentation.